trying to get like a community resource together for micro businesses that help with healing arts, right? So you have birth doulas, you have death doulas, but you have everything in between as well. You have grief coaches, you have metaphysical healers of Reiki and sound healing and transformational coaches. And there's just so many um, solopreneurs that are out there just one at a time in it.
We all are gonna die. 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 Why don't we help each other prepare for it? Without death there could not be life. I'm talking about end of life conversations, conversations about the end of life. Death and dying, grief and loss, conversations about the end of life.
Welcome, everyone. I am the Reverend Wakil David Matthews. On today's episode, we are speaking with Jessica Sadler. Jessica is the founder of Dawn of Aging in Virginia Beach. She focuses on education and outreach to local micro resources to the death and dying community. Very important. So glad you're doing that. She's actively building networks among doulas and local care providers, and I want to talk to you more about that. Her commitment to collaboration
Cool.
ensures that clients are matched with professionals best suited to their specific situations.
Yes. And I am the Reverend Mother Ana Luisa Armendariz. Jessica, through her online presence and community outreach, fosters open conversations about aging, death and dying, and destigmatizes these topics, encouraging proactive planning and informed decision making among clients and their families. Jessica's 17-year tenure as a certified prosthetist or
Ooh,
thoughtist. Did I say it right?
prosthetist.
Prosthetist.
Prosthetist. It's such a fun word.
It is a fun one.
Has provided her with a deep insights into the physical and emotional challenges faced by individuals with terminal complications, trauma, and disabilities.
Mm,
This experience enables her to empathize with caretakers and staff of individuals needing care, which I love these stories, by the way.
yeah.
And she has integrated Swedish death cleaning into her practice and guides clients through the process of more purposeful possessions. This approach not only eases the transition for clients, but also alleviates the burden on their families, fostering a sense of peace and closure.
Wow,
You're
that's
like
so cool.
a Wonder Woman. I love it.
Us
Yeah,
doulas that happen to be jack of all trades, for sure.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I love the idea of, what'd you say, purposeful possessions?
Yeah,
Put-
Possessions,
purposeful
yes.
possessions. It's
Yeah, that's a
pick what the
great way to
things
put it.
are around you.
Yeah. I always in my class, I say, okay, look around yourself. Think about what else is in your basement, in your garage, and in your house, and your storage. What's going to happen to all that stuff?
Yeah.
And wow, just
Stuff.
spending time ahead of time, thinking about
Yeah.
what do I really need to keep and who do I want to give it to. It's just one of the biggest things we can do for our beloved. So
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that work. Yeah. We always like to start by asking when you first became aware of death.
So I grew up on a farm. And so like
Well,
a
there you
lot of
go.
your people that you've interviewed, it starts with animals, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
animals, death with animals is imminent on farms.
Always.
It's necessary.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you get used to animals being food, but then like I grew up also being trained to be a caretaker of animals, a caretaker of the land that they live on, a caretaker of machinery that keeps that land and the animals going. So
Mm,
just kind of ingrained in me from generations just to be a caretaker. And it just
yeah.
naturally kind
Mhm.
of moves into your careers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I do appreciate that you have an early formative death awareness with animals. And I have the luxury of having talked to you before this. So I have stories that I want you to talk about. But
Oh no.
but
Okay.
no. But I do I want you to think about how death has been circling around. I don't want to say circling actually. how has it informed your whole life and the careers that you've chosen and the awareness you bring into these careers, right? The work that you've done.
Yeah, I think for
Yeah,
me,
I
it's
won't.
just sorry.
I say we won't try to say that word again, but we'd love to hear what it's supposed to be or
So,
how that worked.
so prosthetist orthotist, basically, it's a biomechanical engineer for people with lost limbs. So,
Oh, okay.
disease, diabetes, trauma.
Hmm.
When they lose their limbs, you replace them with biomechanical
Mhm.
devices. And but
Right.
just like growing up with farm animals and loss, it really just gives you a sense of reality, I think, and like
Mhm.
acceptance. And when you can just kind of like dive into like, yeah, that's gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is part of it. I think if you're just ingrained with that at a young age, you just learn to communicate it. And it's
Sure.
never really a secret on a farm. You're always talking about it. And so for me as a doula, let's talk about it. Let's talk about all of it. It's like
Yeah.
there's no topic. I'm like colonoscopy is death, whatever you want to talk about.
Poop.
I'm in. I am in. And so it just
Uh,
brings the reality to your whole life, really.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
man. So
Mhm.
cool. I love that. I actually wondered when I read that about how that would affect your work as a doula as far as helping people who probably maybe funeral directors or whomever don't know how to deal with prosthetics and that kind of thing. Do you come up to that? Does that happen at times, or
I
is it?
haven't. I mean, when I was a prosthetist working in the field, people would have loved ones die with prosthetics, and they would just drop them off at our office. I think
Huh,
most people, they don't get buried with them for
right.
I mean, I'm sure you can be, but, a lot of people think that they can drop them off for, like, donations and parts and stuff like that,
Hmm.
so that's always helpful. We always send them to organizations in Africa and other countries
Oh, great.
to donate
Mhm.
those parts. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Well, and going back to that career that you had and the story that I heard previously, we have I think all humans, all of us have a sense that there's losses happening around us. And I really appreciated hearing the story that you gave me about when a client no longer shows up and you know
Oh,
that they
yeah.
have left and nobody's informed you
Hmm.
as a service provider, right? And
Uh-huh.
Right.
and there is a sense like I will miss that person. I hope I wonder what happened, right?
Yeah. So part of my current role really is just, like, focusing on caretakers and the people that care for people who are dying or
Hmm.
ill or in nursing homes, memory care, dementia, all those things, the vibrant web of people that experience loss of a person is absolutely wild, right? And so
Yeah.
Mhm.
you have your, what would you call it? Like a acceptable griever where society
Mhm.
has like
Right. Right.
an idea, an image of an acceptable griever where you're
Sure.
allowed to grieve somebody, and usually that remains in your direct family unit, right? Your spouse,
Right.
your parent, your child. It doesn't really include best friends. Think about like the
Mhm.
reasons that you would be allowed to leave work,
Mm.
right? Your
Mhm.
Right.
bereavement
Mhm.
leave. And so many times you're forced to just like be in your job, be in
Mhm.
your life, and
Mhm.
everyone around you is like, "Why are you upset about your mailman dying?"
Right.
Like, "I only saw
Right.
him every single day, but okay,
Yeah.
I won't be upset for you." So, I think a lot
Right.
Mhm.
of times, like,
Mm.
caregivers I was a practitioner, but, like, I think more along the lines of, like a memory care unit or a nursing facility where, those caretakers, they don't make a lot of money, but they work 40, 50, 60 hours a week taking care of these people in those units, and
Yeah.
they spend more time with those people than maybe their families ever did, and they get
Sure.
really
Mhm.
attached. They keep
Build
them safe,
bonds.
they keep them clean,
Mhm.
they feed them, they make sure that they have someone to talk to. And then one day, maybe you come in for your shift and poof, that person's passed away. Oh my gosh. And then
Hmm.
maybe your job is to clean out that room and you might get that one day, but it's a business.
Yeah.
These places are businesses. And so the next day you come in for your shift, most likely there's going to be someone else in that room and you're going to have to kind of
Mhm.
put on your face and welcome them and make them
Mhm.
feel like they belong, right? So who's
Mm.
Mhm.
taking care of the caretakers?
Yeah.
Who
Wow.
Yeah.
you're yeah.
Such a good point. Such a good point.
Mhm.
And
So
so
physical
many so many different, like you were talking about, the work you were doing, you were one of those caretakers, even though, and just it's very rare, I think, for people to keep a list. It's one of the things I suggest in the class is to keep a list of all of your caregivers and all of your
Yeah.
vendors and all of the
Mhm.
people you work with, because everybody's going to want to know probably,
Mhm. Mhm.
even if it's just because they want to be paid,
Yeah.
but
Well, not
but
just
in
that,
any
just,
case,
the web
just
expands past that.
yeah,
It's your
yeah,
neighbors,
Mhm.
it's your teachers. Children grieve their
exactly,
teachers, but they don't get bereavement leave.
yeah.
You know?
Right.
Oh,
You
so
have
true.
community members, you have, the people that you go to the gym with or your pickleball team or,
Mhm.
Yeah,
your
right.
book club or your coworkers. Like, it's just
Hmm.
there's so many people that, you hear about someone's loss
Mhm.
and you're just like, "Wow," and it affects you, and I think we just have to normalize not expecting somebody to only grieve with certain people.
Right.
Oh, very true.
Right.
Wow.
It just occurred to me, like, I have lived in the same neighborhood for 30 years. I walk twice a day. There are people whose names I don't know who are elderly, and every single day I know they'll be out there watering their sunflowers, and I'll, "Hey, good morning," and
Yeah.
it's true. I won't know when they pass, and yet I will mourn their loss, but there is nobody who will come out and be like, "Hey, neighbors, like, mom died, like, just needed you to know." I
I
I
will say
wish
this,
they'd
so on Facebook, there's those neighborhood Facebook pages,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
there is, our page our page actually does do that. There was a woman who died,
Really?
like, about a couple months ago. She was in her late 90s, and someone
Mm,
had posted that she had passed, and the whole neighborhood had known her for
Mm.
forever.
Mhm.
I've only been in this neighborhood for a few years, so
mm.
but, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I think maybe social media makes that more common?
Possible?
I don't
It's a
know,
Right.
maybe.
possibility.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I do
Yeah,
love it.
we have
Yeah.
a separate, I think it's called Next Door. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is, yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I haven't seen it used for that, but I think I might let people know they should
Try
do that,
too.
something.
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might start something because I was like, this is a very elder-laden neighborhood I'm in,
Yeah,
Mhm.
mine too.
and 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 I love these folks,
Hmm.
and, I will be sad when I don't see them doing their ritual morning things, right? So, because I wanna normalize this, like, "Hey, what was her name anyway? She always watered," "Let's have a little thing for her."
Yeah, walk up to her, ask her what her name is.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Anyhow, yes.
But
Okay.
but you also have, like, pet companions,
Yeah,
you have
Mhm.
your
exactly.
pets grieve and
Yeah, the
your
pets.
online communities. There's Gen Z
Mhm.
who, or maybe younger millennials as well, they're really into gaming, right? And so when they
Hmm.
Mhm.
lose somebody in their gaming community, it's wild how they really do connect and gather together and support each
Wow.
other.
Huh.
It's
Wow.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the takeaway really for us is how important it is to really think about how
Mhm.
many other people your life could be touching, and who would want to know, and how do you make sure that that it's broadcast, or that that
That you
Mhm.
somebody.
don't even know you've affected. There's that whole
Yeah.
I don't know who said it or where it came from, but one of my favorite quotes is, you don't know, all the people that you're gonna love or that are gonna love you
Hmm.
until your last breath, and
Yeah.
you might affect
Mhm.
deeply that person that just started work today, and they're sitting with you during your last
That's
breath,
right.
and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you just don't know, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
We had a
Hmm.
chef on who works with the seniors just a little bit ago, and that his whole way of thinking about how much he loved those people and how much he cared for them, and it was just beautiful, and probably not
Mhm.
really pretty unique, I think, in that
Mhm.
place that somebody works there just really felt a connection. So, yeah, that's the
yeah.
kind of thing that we could pay more attention to, I believe. So I really
Mhm.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You've kind of told us a little bit, but can you tell us a little more about your current work that you're doing?
Oh, oof. So, everything all at once.
Everything all the time.
Yeah, so right now I'm working on something. I'm trying to get like a community resource together for micro businesses that help with healing arts, right? So,
Mm.
you have birth doulas, you have death doulas, but you have everything in between as well. You have grief coaches, you have metaphysical healers of Reiki and sound healing and um, transformational coaches. And there's just so many um, solopreneurs that
Mhm.
are out there just one at a time in it. And one of my favorite movies is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" And it's like, we're
Yes.
not one at a time in it here, we're mass communicating. So I
Mhm.
think, like,
Mhm.
there's a loss in when you're diagnosed with something and your head's spinning and the chaos begins, where do you start, right? You don't The
Mhm.
last thing you wanna do is go on a wild goose chase. Finding these
Mhm.
resources that can help you heal to the end, right?
Right.
Maybe you're not gonna cure yourself, but
You'll be
there are
supported.
there are modalities that can help you live a
Mhm.
better life to the end, and where are
Mhm.
those people? We don't
Mhm.
have the resources to funnel ourselves out into the universe. We don't have the funds to market ourselves in a
Mhm.
big way, and so really we're all word of mouthing, and we're all just
Mhm.
kind of struggling
That's
to
right.
get ourselves out there. So I'm working on things to, like, really just get a better referral source together, or a one-stop
Mhm.
shop hub type of
Mhm.
co-op type of
Mhm.
something, and I know they do exist in other states, but Virginia's a little behind the times, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that reminds
Yeah.
me of, the
Mhm.
an idea we've been thinking about is the idea of finding maybe creating some kind of nonprofit, which was a collaboration between attorneys and doulas and funeral homes and et cetera that would help people who are having trouble with resources or don't have the right, don't
Mhm.
have friends or family they can
Mhm.
talk to, that need fiduciary people to be their healthcare agents, but don't have anybody they could trust or, um, and that would start with just what you're talking about. So I'm really
Mhm.
interested in
The
maybe keeping
hub.
in touch and finding out how you manage that and maybe some ideas from you about that because I
Yeah,
think
one of the things that I'm trying to incorporate in it is, like, not a not-for-profit, definitely for profit because we all have to make a living.
yeah.
Right.
But, I would really like to form something where you, like, would pay rent into a system
Hmm.
and then be in charge of your own schedule, be in charge of your own money, but have a place to do business. But
Mhm.
then if
Mhm.
you're going to be part of that revolving team, you're required to do pro bono hours. And so
Hmm.
Mhm.
potentially if you have, 30 or 40 resources through your system every month, that's a lot of hours
Hmm.
that
Mhm.
you can require people to do and not take away from their rental hours,
Right. Right.
right?
Hmm.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, everything we're
Good.
doing, we understand that there are more people that need it, but then there are
Yeah.
people who can pay for it. And
Yeah.
a
Right.
lot of those people are happy to donate into systems to help others.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that
And
model. Thank you for
I
sharing it.
do love that. And I also it remind two things. One is if people have the financial resources and the information to ask for help, like through a hospice, right? Like not everybody does because not everybody knows.
Yeah.
And hospice will, show up with a social worker, a chaplain, a nurse, a doctor, whatever. Like there's 5 people who show up to support the family. But if you don't have that support, you're like just like winging it, like you said.
yeah.
So I do love the idea of a hub that's kind of like a food court, right?
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like, I am anxious about this whole process into life. Like what could I possibly be how could I be supported? Reiki, sound healing,
Yeah.
massages, talk therapy. Okay, well, and now I still need to like figure out like I don't have a funeral plot and I'm just by myself. Who do I talk to? There's a fiduciary, there's an advanced care director planner, there's a death doula, right? Like,
Yeah.
so in this court, you could just be like, okay, this is what I do. And maybe have some advocates there because also when you're in that
Mhm.
pressed up against that timeline, it's scary and you don't even
Yeah.
know how to articulate what it is that you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love this.
Mhm. So as a death doula, part of my shtick, if you will, is, like, doing exactly that. So, like, the most
Mhm.
important thing I think a
Mhm.
doula can do, and since we all spread ourselves so thin and we do so many different things, it's impossible to advertise all those things. And
Yeah.
so, you know, the most important thing is to get somebody in there early, as we
Right.
all know, earlier the better. But like,
Yeah.
really, who are you? What do you need? What's your
Mhm.
resources? Who's your support system? What are they able to do? And
Yeah.
then like find those resources. So like, this is what kind of appeals to me in doing this project is doing exactly that, is getting somebody in there and being
Mhm.
like, "Do you even want any of this service?" Maybe you're not
Right.
Right.
into the woo-woo
Right.
stuff and you're not interested
Right.
in any of that. That's fine, but, like, we
Right.
also have lawyers here every Tuesday. We have,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
give them all the options and then have a
that's right.
rotating services, so it's never just, like, one person in one room. It's
Right.
just rotating, so
Ugh.
Yeah.
when do you need that
Mm.
service? They're here on that
Mhm.
day,
That's
Right.
and
great.
I love that.
I
Mhm.
call myself a closure curator.
Right.
Beautiful. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I can almost see you as like a realtor who's walking through somebody's house with their clipboard, and they're just like, "Do we do this? Do we do that?
Yeah.
Okay." Yeah, it's like I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
Beautiful.
needed. I think just like we've talked
Absolutely.
about, it's
Mhm.
when people are in that chaos, you just don't wanna you don't know what's out there
Yeah.
because you haven't been through it. So now, like, what is available? If someone just laid out the list for you and said, "All of this is available, cross off what you're not interested in.
Mhm.
What's the priority today?"
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
and then we can help kinda guide people to
Yeah.
the things
Right.
that they need, that they want, that they care about.
Yep.
Wasted
That's
time is not
yeah.
good at the end of life.
Yeah. Yeah, and people who are grieving often have no idea what they need or want, and so having somebody
Mhm.
there who's an advocate who can to just kinda be there as a friend, as a listener, and then, have the knowledge and the skills to be able to say, "This is what might be next for you. What do you think?" That kinda thing. That's so
Right.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, wow. I can't wait to talk some more and make this happen.
Yes, I know.
I
I
hope
we need
so.
one in every state, and
Yeah,
so
we do.
Every city, because
Yeah.
yes.
I live in Virginia Beach, and it's kinda like it's a decent sized city, but we're right
Mhm.
next to Norfolk, which is the largest, Navy base in the world, so
Mhm.
we have a rotating group of people here all the time that don't have the military does things, but it doesn't provide all resources, so
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
And you have to be a vet.
true.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Alright, cool. So, next. What's
Oh,
next?
it's me. It's
Yeah.
me. Woo. So, what are your challenges that you encounter uh, being in this heartfelt dream and support realm that you're in?
I I think you kinda gave me inspiration for this, answer last week when we spoke because and I've talked to other people about this before, but it kinda, like, just all came together. Death care should not be online. And I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of doulas are just, creating online schools or creating online
Mhm.
classes or doing Zoom calls all over the country, and I do although I don't have a school program, but I do
Yeah.
Zoom calls, and I do help people on the other coast. Death care can't be online. I think when you're dying and you're diagnosed with something, the last thing you wanna do is sign on to Zoom and be like, "Is my doula available now? Like, can I speak to her?" Like, it
Mhm.
just I think COVID
Mhm.
drew us so far inward and made online everything acceptable, and I think people are
Right.
craving touch and craving
Yes.
people around them and the energy that they give. So,
Right.
just I think our biggest challenge is just getting out there, and when you're sick, you don't wanna
Mhm.
get out there and meet people. So,
Mhm.
it's like,
Mhm.
where's the fine line between advertising and marketing yourself online and then getting people to know that they can use you in person?
Mhm.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah, and that really speaks to the importance of
Mhm.
creating these community,
Mhm.
hubs as you're talking about,
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if people don't have any way to get to anybody and they have to use Zoom, it's good that that's there. It's sort of like, well, we have that tool if we need it, but if we can
Mhm.
create these
Right. If it's
hubs where
needed.
yeah, if we can
Mhm.
create these hubs where you can have access to people in person, three-dimensional, you know,
Yeah.
and see
Mhm.
their legs and,
But then
that
Well,
kinda
also, I
and
think it's important to see, like, if you can if you combine birth doulas with death doulas, you have a pregnant person going in to have a healing session or acupuncture or whatever it might be, and then out walks a dying person, and it completes that circle of life. It gives
Of
people
life,
more
right,
empathy of, like, this is
right.
life, we're all kinda going through it, and maybe I'm getting the same
Mhm,
treatment as someone else is getting the same
mhm,
treatment, and it
mhm.
shows people, like, all of that is available to all of us.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's a natural progression, right? Like, you
Yeah.
don't just kind of bifurcate death and birth, right? But, in my head, it's like, I want to be sitting with somebody so when I sense that sob coming up, I can push the box of tissues over to them because it's the act, it's the silence when being it's, like, loudly, right? Like, yeah, this whole online thing is just it's getting a little too and we're forgetting we're human beings who need certain things to happen in
I think
person.
I think too, like, the shame and guilt of
Mhm,
grieving and talking about death and your own mortality, it's a
mhm,
shame. Society shames you for it. You're a failure. You're losing the battle,
mhm.
right? And so
Yeah.
I think when you're in person and people, like, they start to talk about things, and then they're like, "Oh, no, maybe I shouldn't say that. It's too much, too morbid, oh, I don't wanna
Mhm.
acknowledge that I might die because 'cause I'm still fighting." Um, when
Yeah.
you're in person with them, you can be like, "No, man, give it to me. Just give it to me
Yeah,
straight." And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm a person, maybe your daughter doesn't wanna hear it, maybe your husband doesn't
Mhm.
wanna hear it, but I'm right here.
I'm
You can tell me
available. That's
anything,
right.
and I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna acknowledge exactly what you say because
Mhm.
it's true to you, and it's how you're
Yeah.
feeling now, and if people can't get it out, then it just instills that fear in them a little bit more.
Yeah, and it's just creating more trauma, right? It's another level of
Yeah.
trauma that somebody who is at the end of life, like, doesn't
Uh,
need to be kind of, like, packing it in and keeping it in there.
Yeah,
that's the
exactly.
time to let it out.
I
Yeah,
know.
right, right.
Boo.
Right?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, great. Does, anything frighten you about the end of life for
I've
yourself?
had some near death situations. I've had some health problems, and I I just don't fear it. I
Mhm.
maybe if I don't know, I've come pretty close. So, um, I really just worry more about my animals. I just I don't
Yeah.
like, are they gonna be taken care of the way that they need
Mhm.
to be taken care of, and are they gonna be allowed to grieve? So it's like when they're
Mhm.
all sad, are people just gonna rush them through that, or are they gonna be
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
"Man, this dog's sad. It's okay. We'll just give him
Yeah,
some space."
Mhm.
Like, eh, I don't know. I'm very attached to my animals, so
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
but I like, as a death thing, I think most people just grieve potential, right? Like, what do I
Mm.
want to accomplish? What do I wanna do someday? And I think people fear, like, if they die, that's not gonna happen. We're not gonna do those things, and I think just, like, the answer to that is every day, pick the thing that makes you the most happy. You don't have to
Mhm.
live your best life every minute, but, um,
Mhm.
pick your best thing, even if it's, like, the way home from work. Take a
Right.
different route that, like, drives you by something exciting and that you like, and that's a better day. So
Mhm. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
Jessica.
I love that.
I do too. But do your pets have advanced care directive plans or
they
somebody to
do,
take care of them if in case
they
you're
do.
not there?
Their food bowl bins are right here, and they have, taped paper to them. So
Great. I love
yeah,
that.
like,
Of
they
course you
like
do.
this, they eat this,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
hate
great.
this, don't take
Oh,
this dog to the vet. Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
such a
So they
good
have
plan.
th
I need
their
to do
own
that.
they have their own doggy posts.
They do. Because if I'm in an accident
Yes.
Yeah.
and, somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, she has dogs," and someone comes over to get my dogs, hopefully,
Mhm.
Mhm. What are they
they
gonna
don't
do?
I mean, you gotta it's such a simple, dumb thing to have to do, but it's really just makes somebody's life easier.
I love
And
Yeah.
that idea. Yeah,
my one
definitely.
dog is actually 12 years old, and I adopted him 2 years ago. Someone had left him at the shelter that had him their whole life, and I have such minimal information on this dog that I'm just learning who this dog is as a senior, and so he
Mm.
might
Mhm.
sit here and just talk to me and whine about something at the same time every day, and I have no clue
Mhm.
what, but he
Mhm.
had that relationship with somebody, so the
Mhm.
more information that you can just write down all the silly things that they do and their fears
Yeah.
and yeah.
Oh, you're
Uh.
such a good mom. You're such a good fur baby mom. And I just remembered for like I think like 10 years I had this little sticker that I got at the firehouse. And,
Mhm.
in case of a fire, like there's a dog. Back then I had my bearded dragon. And so like I needed to make sure my bearded dragon was going to be safe in case of a fire. And I got rid of that. And now I'm like, wait a second, like we've got guinea pigs. Come get the guinea pigs.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you beat me by far on your bearded dragon story. You
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 there
like
was
10 up to me on that.
no, but listen, there is no hierarchy here. I love your story. So, Wakil, I took Khaleesi, my bearded dragon's ashes to Australia last year when I was there.
Mhm.
And then she had mentioned that she had put it in a garden. What is it called? Garden pot?
Yep.
And I was like,
He's in a potted plant outside, a big
that
potted
is
plant.
so cool. I
He's
was like, wait, that's
terra-mating.
cool. I was like, that's so awesome. I love that. So
Yeah.
no
Yeah, but,
hierarchies
like, you
here,
took
baby.
you're like, you still win. That's still a
Going to
win.
Australia, yeah.
It was just there's no winning. I don't want you to say that. I just want you to know that it just happened, and it was on
It's
a
a
spiritual
pretty
journey,
cool
so
story. Taking a
It's a
bearded
great
dragon back
story.
to Australia and their native land, that's
That's
pretty
pretty
I'll
cool.
awesome.
I'll send you pictures of her little ashes that I spread and a little
Aw.
altar that I made.
So
Very
It's
cute.
cool.
fun.
Very cool. Yeah.
Only because 'cause I'm a ritualist, babe. That's the
Yeah.
only
It's
reason.
all about
Yeah.
ritual.
Okay, where are we? How do you keep yourself resourced when you're doing
Resource.
this worship? Yeah.
Yeah, so education is everything, right?
Mhm.
So if you're not teaching people to rethink the way that they think about death, they're never going to address it. And so I realized that doing tables at senior events is not the answer because
Mm.
Mhm.
they see that you're a death doula and they about face as fast as
They're like
possible. Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I don't need that now. I don't need that." And they don't even take your card. They don't wanna know
yeah,
who you are.
yeah.
And so I think I realized that addressing seniors, although the older we get, the more likely you're going to die. It's a statistical thing. Um, but I just don't think that's the people that are ready to, although they should be, address the obvious. And
Mhm.
so I'm actually planning something with a local legacy vault builder. So
Mhm,
she does like online legacy vaults, like emergency binders. And
Mhm.
her and I are planning an event probably in February about the sandwich generation,
mhm,
Mhm.
which is essentially, what we talked about earlier, the caregivers, right? So
Yeah.
when
mhm,
you have all this stuff, you have your house, your husband, your kids, your job, and then your
mhm,
dying parent comes back. You're the
mhm,
sandwich generation. You're taking care of everybody and yourself and your parents.
Yeah.
And
mhm.
it's too much. It's too much. And people need to know the resources and they
Mm.
don't know where to find them. So I think like
Mhm.
Right.
the moral of the story is like resource finding. Like
Yeah.
how do we get that in place where people know where to look or know that there are
Mhm,
options. You don't have to know all the options, but have to know where to look. So I just feel
Yeah.
like
mhm,
there are there's a bunch of websites that I've just found out about. Couldn't even tell you right now, but amazing websites of resources, but if you don't know that it exists
Yep.
in the time
right,
when you need it,
Yeah.
right.
it's not
Yeah.
any good. It's not doing
Yeah.
anybody any good.
It's too bad that, so I started getting my AARP newsletter, like, a couple years ago, and, I skimmed through it. It hasn't created a thing for me yet because I'm 56. I'm not what I think I'm not the person, but I wonder if in the 50s, if there were like an AARP newsletter and they'd say, if you have, because in your 50s, you could potentially have 70, 80, 90-year-old parents.
Yeah.
That's where we would be like, hey, like if you
Right.
are having, if you're in your middle of well, it's not midlife anymore, but if you're in your 50s and you have aging parents, have you considered some of these things? Because I think
Yeah.
us as 50-year-olds, I mean, I have 2 older parents. I have a disabled daughter, and so it's like I'm also doing that. Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Um, and I know how to find resources, but maybe others
absolutely.
at our age could benefit from that because our elders
Mhm.
are like, "Oh, heck no, that's too weird. That's too morbid."
But I think it's
Right.
more along the lines of, like, it's that emergency, right? And so
Right.
you're going along your life, you're living your dream, you're doing
Mhm.
your thing,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, bam, something happens,
Right.
a diagnosis happens, a sudden death happens.
Mhm.
Oh my god, well, I still have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
The kids still have to go to school tomorrow.
Right.
Right? And so
Mhm.
that's the problem is that people
Mhm.
are too fuzzy. They're too in the fog, too in the chaos to know to look.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Yes.
we know how to manage the internet and look up stuff when we're not overwhelmed maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah,
So,
and knowing that that's out there and that's part of our work, right? Make sure people
yeah.
Mhm.
know that this is available, so, yeah,
Mhm.
that's great, thank you.
Hmm.
And then, of
Is
course, death cafes are
Yeah,
Mhm.
life. They're
yeah,
like my
those are
favorite
going.
thing to do in the world. Like
Yeah.
ones the last one that I had, sometimes we use the death deck or we'll pull cards just if nobody has anything to talk about, and one of the things was what will you haunt somebody after you're gone? Like, what will you
Cool.
do, or what signs will you give to people? And I was like, I'm definitely having people be pooped on by birds. Like, if you're doing if you're doing something dumb and stupid and bad for yourself, I'm gonna have a bird come poop on you regularly,
Oh,
like, a lot,
excellent.
right? And so right at this death cafe, I said that, and a bird pooped on one of the people that was
Oh, oh,
That
oh.
is
uh,
that's powerful. That's like,
Yeah,
see?
wow.
Like, notice. I have to tell you, my ex-husband is straight up atheist, doesn't believe we have souls, is like, that shit's weird, right? But he did one day say to me, "If it's possible for you to do, like, hauntings, please don't haunt me. It don't
so
come
he
near me.
does
It's."
believe. A
He's
little
scared
bit.
a little bit, but my kids and I discuss this from time to time, like, "Hey, if I can do it, where do you wanna be looking? Like, what do you
Yeah.
want me to push things over, open doors?" Like, so we, like, discuss, like, "If it's possible, this is where you should look."
So
But
cool.
you know what, though? That's the conversation, right? That's like
Yeah.
your kids are obviously used to talking about it because 'cause you're
Yes.
who you are, but, like, I think that's the conversation, right? If you can joke
Mhm.
about it and have, like, a weird, morbid sense of
Yeah.
humor or dark sense of humor, whatever we wanna call it, talking about it opens up the conversation, period,
Yes.
and, like, that's
Yes.
it. That's what's important, and then you can build upon that conversation to
Yeah.
know what people want, to know what people wish.
Yes. I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
instead of telling people I do death midwifery, if I get invited to dinner parties anymore, I'm gonna say, if you are going to be able to be a ghost, what do you wanna be able to do? Because that might be a little more interesting for people.
That sounds like
What's
fun, yeah.
what's your
What a great.
ghostly superpower?
That's
Right, right.
right.
What are you gonna do?
Mm, mm.
Yeah. Who are you gonna
Anyhow.
call? Yeah. Okay, well, is there anything you wish we had asked you?
Oh, no, we talked about so much.
Mhm. Yeah,
You're so awesome. I love it.
you are.
Oh, thank
We
you.
enjoyed our time with you very much.
Mhm.
Well, thank you. Did you have yeah, you have a poem you wanna share with us, if I
You can
remember
read it
right?
because you have such a nice voice.
Oh.
Mhm. That's right.
He really does.
Mr. Radio guy.
Yeah, he does have a radio voice.
Mhm.
Alright,
So
well,
it's
I have to.
basically for caregivers because
Yeah,
I
it's
just think
beautiful.
they just don't get enough attention.
It's so true. And this is written
Mm.
by John O'Donohue. It comes from his book, Benedictus, a book of blessings to bless the space
Mm.
between us,
I love that
from
book.
2007. A great book, yeah.
Mhm.
And it's called For the Caregiver. May you have the grace to see that the dignity of healing dwells in how you hold the suffering. May you never doubt the gifts you bring. Rather, learn from these frontiers wisdom from your own heart.
Hmm.
Yeah, may you never doubt the gifts you bring.
Mm.
Rather, learn from these frontiers wisdom from your own heart.
Mm.
Ah, Yes,
Yeah,
indeed.
I know.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
beautiful.
You guys are doing such important work having people. It's such an expansive idea. And I think
Yeah,
like people think that life, if you just think of a lifetime, a life
Mhm.
experience, all the different avenues and agendas and topics that involve in a life, I think just as many are involved in death. And
absolutely.
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
such a vast topic. And
yeah.
all
Mhm.
these podcasts are so important to just like
Mhm.
let people dive into their nuances.
Mhm,
Mhm.
mhm.
Well, I wanna mirror that back to you because you're doing really amazing and important work
Aw.
where you're at,
Yeah,
so
and you're
thank you.
inspiring,
Yeah.
very
Yes.
inspiring. So we'll say goodbye, and we thank you so much for joining us today.
But I'm
Thanks.
gonna keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely, me too. I
See that.
definitely
I'll come
Yeah.
visit.
oh,
We'll
very
we'll
good.
hang out and do a tea time.
All right.
You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
It's a
so
pleasure.
welcome.
You are too.
Mhm.
All right.
Thanks for your work.
Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining us today. Please stick around after the credits for our afterthoughts, and it helps our numbers if you stay until the end. We want to thank my children, Nate, Vivian, Nina, and her fiance Asher, for the excellent opening song, and a special thanks to our awesome editor, Sam Zemke, who is also a guest on our podcast. You can listen to him on Season 4, Episode 5. Also, thank you to Charles Heaston, the composer of the original music you are listening to now.
And of course, thanks to you, our audience, and all of our amazing guests. Please come back next week for another great episode. Share this with your friends, family, and community. We hope you will subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. Each guest's additional information will be found in the podcast notes. And of course, if you have a good end-of-life story to share, please reach out. We are always eager to hear from you. Oh,
Ah,
I want her to come over to visit. I
I
like her
know.
so much.
I hope she
I
does.
I know,
That's so
and,
cool.
I found her on LinkedIn
Yeah,
and texted her, and I was just like when I talked to her, I she is doing important work, and I love this
absolutely.
idea of the hub, and she's got great stories and, just another facet in this multiple faceted realm of death, just like she said,
Yep.
and she's shining it out there. I loved her. Mm,
Yeah, yeah. What a wonderful resource, and I really appreciate that because we've been thinking about that same thing, that reaching out
that's
and
right.
finding all of those pieces and talking to
Mhm,
people and getting them in collaborative work together. And I love the
mhm,
model of renting a space kind of thing.
mhm.
I'm really going to take that on as I start to
May
think more about this idea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want to as well because I think that, it would be great. Like, I love it that it's a co-op and not necessarily just
yeah,
on your own.
yeah, yeah. And we already have
Anyway.
the People's Memorial Co-op here in West
Mhm.
in Seattle that are in Washington, so we could definitely tie into that as part of it, so
Cool.
wonderful. We are so blessed as always.
As always.
Love you.
All right, my dear.
Take care.
Adios.